We now turn our attention to golf, the 2018 Waste Management Pheonix Open. We're going to be looking for value picks as usual. We're not going to be looking to take the short prices on the big names. We're going to be looking for players in the field that present some value. I want to make that distinction because sometimes people think that we're trying to just select the winners. We're not trying to do that. We're trying to select value in the market relative to the odds the bookies have given. We want to look for players who are priced at bigger prices than they perhaps could have been. So where there's a little bit of meat on the bone, there's a little bit of value there, the bookies are giving us a little bit more than we'd expect. That's what we're looking for in this Waste Management Pheonix Open. Hideki Matsuyama is the defending champion. Matsuyama, tremendous last year, tremendous player. I don't think he's been in a similar form in recent months, but he's a very capable player and he's done very well at this particular tournament. I understand that he's actually going for 3 in a row. He's trying to emulate or imitate what Steve Stricker did with the John Deere Classic. He won it for 3 years, third year being 2011, I think. So Matsuyama looking for his third title at the Pheonix Open. So he'll be very motivated, he'll feel very comfortable at the tournament. It's not someone I'm going to go for because of the price. 10 to 1, one of the shorter prices. We're always trying to look sort of north of, certainly north of 15 to 1, even north of 20 to 1 where we can. We want to stay the right side of the odds and make sure we're getting value in a 4-round tournament with a lot of players where, you know, so many players that can actually win. There's so many players that can turn up and perform that week for 4 rounds and win. So, you know, there's no point sticking to single-digit figures on names we'll know because there are other players in the field who do have a serious chance. It's the PGA Tour, very competitive. It's a sensational tour. Now the course we've got is the TPC Scottsdale in Arizona. It's a par 71, 7,266 yards. This is a tournament that attracts big crowds. There's going to be a lot of people here. I think there were 600,000 spectators at the last tournament. So a lot of people in through the doors, very popular. Phil Mickelson's very popular at this tournament. I believe he's 50 to 1 this week. I think he went to university nearby this area, so he's very popular. He will attract a lot of people. So this week it's all about concentration. I think, as always, I tend to go for players that keep the ball in play and keep a tidy scorecard. I think that's important this week. It's people that, you know, they're unassuming, they concentrate on their game, fairways and greens, and if they have a good week putting, they've got a chance. If we look at the betting, we can look through the field. You've got the Rams there at short prices, and well, he might be because he's been in tremendous form, striking the ball beautifully. A winner 2 weeks ago, is it? Not the last week, the week before. So he's short. Ricky Fowler is there at short prices. As I said, Matsuyama 10 to 1. We're going to look for the value straight away and go with Patrick Reed, who performed very well last week. As someone I backed last week, he was solid. You know, I think it was a top 30 sort of performance. Reed, you know what you're getting. He's a tidy player. He's not the hugest hitter in the world, but he's very competent. He's very consistent. He's a Ryder Cup player. For my money, he's a future major winner, and he's available at around 55 to 1. So I'm going to take that each way. 7 places, a fifth of the odds. So first selection, Pat Reed. 55 to 1, I think it's 60 in some places. 55 is what it's come down to now. I'm also going to go with JJ Spawn. Didn't back him last week, backed him the week before that. He didn't do too well that week. But before that, he's shown tremendous form. He's been striking the ball well. He put in some very good performances. And so generally, he's in decent touch. He was around 100 to 1. I believe the bookies have shaved that down now to something like 70 to 1, 80 to 1 in places. The price I've got is 70 to 1 each way, a fifth of the odds, 7 places. So I'm going to go with JJ Spawn. I'm going to go with William McGirt as well. He's out at 150 to 1, which it just seems way too big. McGirt is someone who fits that profile I just described. He's got good concentration, he's experienced, he's got a tremendous temperament, keeps it in play. His scorecard is usually pretty tidy. If he plays well, 150 to 1 could flatter him. I mean, I don't know why he's any more than sort of, he should be 80 to 1 or 100 to 1 maybe, but not 150 to 1. So there's meat on the bone, fills our criteria where we're looking for value. Going to take William McGirt 150 to 1. We're also going to take Ian Poulter, who's out at 90 to 1. We all know Poulter, a Ryder Cup player, very talented. Hasn't picked up a major in his career, which, you know, he's probably got the talent to do it. Second in the Players' Championship not too long ago. Tremendous ball striker. It's all about what sort of week he's having. If he's on it, if he's focused, he's got a chance. 90 to 1. I think it's a big number. I think it could have been slightly less. I think there's a little bit of meat on the bone there. So in terms of looking for value, Ian Poulter fits that criteria. If he was to win in at 90 to 1 or get a place, fifth of the odds, 7 places, you're getting a nice number there on Poulter at 90 to 1. Shortest price I'll go for is Mr. Mark Leishman, someone who seemed to support every single week last year. He has been shortened up in the betting of late due to very important quality performances. I think he did pretty well in the FedEx Cup. He's just been showing what he's capable of. He's got that second place in the Open Championship to Zach Johnson, 2015. So he's a good player. He's been underrated for a long time. People have been sleeping on him. The bookies have been sleeping on him, but not now. His odds are shortened up. He was very short last week, but he's been pushed out a little bit to 30 to 1 by the bookies. I'm going to take that. I think of the shorter prices, I think that's value. I think Leishman, I mean, when I say it's value, I think it's roughly right. It could be 28, something. There might be a slither of value, but I think it's a more than reasonable figure on the Australian. Again, fits the criteria I always give. He's very tidy, very consistent, no big mistakes, no huge errant drives. Greens and regulation stats are always up there, so he's someone who's going to play well. As I said, I think concentration will be the thing that's important this week, and keeping it tidy. 600,000 spectators, it's not easy to keep your concentration, it's not easy to keep your focus. So the players that are able to do that, the players that are able to keep it on track, the players that are able to keep a one-track mind, focus just on their game and their scoring, and each individual shot will have a chance. And I think I've selected 5 players there that present value in the market. Please comment with anyone you think has a chance. You can either comment for people you think are going to win, or you can comment from the perspective of this channel, which is to offer value in golf betting. If you think there's any players that are out there at big prices, bigger prices than they should be, please comment, like and subscribe. Enjoy the tournament. Have a good week, and I'll see you next time.